Let's begin.
It's October 20th, 2021. You know what that means. It is day 20 of the 31 Days of Fright horror movie project, year 10. I am the one and only MSJ, Max for short, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Before I get started with this review, I need you to click subscribe, hit the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, and share it. And do those things, what I just asked of you of 13th Wolfman. I am the Ice Lord. Carly 317, Random Horror, Tony has 9 fingers, Random Horror, Retro Horror, tons of other people doing this. There's a plethora of us doing it. If you just type in that onto Google or your search bar or whatever, you'll get one of us. So, and the biggest shout out of this video goes to my friend Seth for recommending Phantasm for today's video. And so, okay, how to go into this movie. I'm going to tell you my experience with this movie prior to watching this for the very first time. Is that I knew who the tall man was, but I don't know nothing about him. I knew he was in Phantasm, and that's it. And I know the little, the sphere, you know, with the little knives at the end and the thing that drills into your head. So, and then it splurts out blood at the other end. That's where my knowledge is on this movie. That's it. I don't know what the movie is about. I don't know anything other than that. And that's where, when the final credit rolled upon the screen, my knowledge just went through the roof of knowing what I didn't know, because it's centered around a mortuary and around a death of a friend that sets this entire thing in motion. And this kid named Mike, he's kind of like stalking the mortuary, and he's just kind of watching him because he's like, his brother's like, don't come to the funeral, because last time he had nightmares for his mom and dad. And so, but he still went anyways, but he's kind of watching from afar, and he's seen things he probably shouldn't be seeing. He's seen the title, like basically the villain of the movie right here, the tall man, pick up a casket by himself and load it back into the vehicle, the hearse. And so he's like, well, that's very unusual, and stuff like that. And it's just, and then through there you get, he's just experiencing stuff by sneaking into the mortuary and fighting off these Jawa looking things. They call them dwarves in the movie, but that's the best way to kind of like give you a mental image of it, is that they look like Jawas. And then he ends up chopping off the tall man's fingers. His blood is like this mustard yellow, kind of almost like tapioca pudding, banana cream pie pudding. It basically looks like that color. And he takes it home and just shows his brother, like, hey, there's something going on here. And his brother doesn't believe him, but once he sees the finger moving, and then it's like, okay, I believe you. And so, excuse me there, it's just like, it's just so random, because the finger ends up transforming into this, like, fly creature. It's about the size of a softball, and it's just attacking this guy, this kid, and his brother, Jody. And it's like, it's on par with the scene from Reanimator, where Herbert West and Dan are fighting this reanimated cat. It's basically just kind of like, all right, well, we'll attach it to your neck, but you have to do all the acting. So it's like, you have to like suspend disbelief of how strong this thing is, because they wrap it in a coat real quick. You don't really see it all that often, and then they're just like flinging themselves over across the room, and you're just kind of like, oh, this thing is like powerful and strong, and like, it's like, it's more than meets the eye. And so then, man, it's like, what do we really talk about this movie? This movie is really hard to talk about, because this movie is going to be required like 2 or 3 more viewings to kind of like really like settle in what's going on, because it's just so, there's not a lot answered. Like, I'm not going to reveal the big twist of the movie or anything like that, but it's just like, once they get to that, once they finally get all to the mortuary, and really have this like showdown with the tall man and everything. It's just like, and some like big revelations that have been had. It's like, oh wow, I did not see that coming. I did not see that coming. And like now I understand why he reacted a certain way early in the movie and everything. It's just like, oh, I get it all now. And but there are some other very unanswered questions, like who's the lady in lavender. I had to like, I would watch the credits as I give respect to the movie and other things, and it's just like, and just like who is she? You know, like what's her like true role, and so and stuff like that. It's like I just don't know nothing, and I'm trying, and I really don't want to watch the sequels because to Phantasm, because I heard that it slowly goes down. I heard the next couple sequels are actually not too bad, but I think 4 and 5 are like unbearable. So it's kind of like how you take this really great movie, kind of like how Hellraiser did. You get a couple of decent sequels, and then it just goes straight down. Like I'm like oh man, like so I kind of want to preserve the integrity of this film as is for right now. And I may have to watch this on commentary because I really, so I can get a little better insight of this film. So that's really all I have to say about this movie. I enjoyed it. I loved this movie. It's just different, and that's what I really wanted from this movie, and that's what I got. So I'm going to tell you my rating scale. 1 being run-of-the-mill horror, 2 best watched with the group, 3 more than average horror but adds nothing new to the horror genre, 4 helps move the horror genre forward, and 5 being a horror classic. And Phantasm is definitely a horror classic because it's different. It doesn't answer questions. It leaves you not leaves you with more questions than it answered. It definitely is not for everybody. It is, but it is a horror classic because there's a lot of talking in this movie. There's a lot of people wandering around and walking, and but once things happen, they're big moments. So that's what I really liked. And I do believe this is the same guy who made Boba Hotep. So I kind of already kind of I've gotten an idea of his filmmaking style. So, and I really liked it. And like when I seen the fly creature, I'm like, oh, that reminds me of the scarab from Boba Hotep. And so now I kind of understand his kind of, like I mentioned, his style of filmmaking. So that's really all I have to say about Phantasm. I want to give thanks to Seth for finally getting me to watch Phantasm for the very, very first time, and it's what an appropriate time to do it for my 10th year, the 31 Days of Fright. I am the one and only MSJ, Max for short, and all I can say is thank you.